Welcome back to the Union. Again, sorry, we don't have the normal crew again. Ryan's lost the coin toss over the laptop tonight, so his wife commandeered it. She's got her own business on the side, so and she makes a lot more money than what Ryan would make on the Union. So he gracefully gave up the computer. Phil is out doing his civic duty and, protecting us from all the fucking hippies in the world. So that's all good. So Phil's doing his thing. We've got Dave still up in Kincardine. Dave, buddy, this week looks like it's just beat the shit out of you. Like, yeah. Merc down in Renfrew, buddy, looking good. Wish you'd start wearing a Vikings hat, but, the Packers are all right. And, sorry, I was getting dehydrated. And very, very, like, how lucky am I that every week I start this show and I'm like, we are very, very lucky this week to have this guest. And it seems like this is episode 10, and every week I say it, we're very, very lucky to have this guest. And I know, even if Ryan and Phil were here, all of us know you, Lorianne, and we've all hunted with you. We've hung out. We've, partied. We've done it all with you. So it's awesome to welcome you. For those of you that don't know, it's Lorianne Horst. That's from up in the Hanover area, down around the Bruce Peninsula, and she is the owner and founder of Canadian Sportswoman Society. So welcome to the Union, Lorianne. It's a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm so excited.
So, this is pretty awesome that you, because I know you've been watching it. You and your husband Steve, both of you have been watching it, and I know been in contact with Dave and I. Just telling about the show and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So, very, very happy to have you on, and can't wait to get into this episode and start finding out some more questions and answering and asking you the question that I know some of our listeners really want to know. So, but before, I just got to a little public service announcement for anybody that's been following our social media feed. You've seen that Dave has put a post out there last week during the Union. Dave made a little announcement about shipping and this whole thing. And then today I done a little video, put it out on social media about what's going on with our shipping. Merc, finally, if you look down in the bottom right-hand corner of Merc's screen there, you'll see his hat finally showed up from Latvia today. So I just wanted to say once again how much we really, really do appreciate everybody's patience during this time. And I know how frustrating it must be to have spent your hard-earned money and spend it on supporting us at Punisher Waterfowl and having to wait a couple weeks in order to get your t-shirt, your beard oil, whatever it may be. I know you're frustrated, and I can promise you're not even nearly as frustrated as what Dave and I are in having to deal with this. So once again, thank you for your patience. And for those of you that have been messaging me today, asking when new products are coming out, we are not launching any new products until we know that Canada Post and shipping is all back and operating as close to normal as you can get for Canada Post. So again, thanks everybody so much for your patience, and hopefully we won't have to put up with this much longer. Dave, did you have anything you wanted to add to that? Oh, no sound. No sound for Dave. Okay, so as usual, Lorianne, you know how it goes. I do the really easy part. I ask the first question, and then
Okay.
you go, and then we just have the rest of the show will then really evolve and just ferment. That's my new word of the day. That's my big word of the day, ferment. The rest of the conversation will it'll just carry on, and it'll be a really organic conversation, and it's a lot of fun. But, you know, so the Canadian Sportswoman Society, you started this, you know, what, 2-3 years ago? 2 years ago?
Almost 5 now.
Oh, smoke, sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Almost 5 years. So
Yeah.
you were promoting women hunting before women hunting was cool, really, because it seems now, it just seems now that, and it's awesome, and I love it. I love the fact that there's more and more ladies that are, and more ladies being entrepreneurial and trying to build upon the hunting world, and you're seeing way more of it these days. But, you know, from someone that's a very, very grassroots that was starting out right from the beginning, you know, what was your original goal with Canadian Sportswoman Society, and has it evolved anywhere today, or are you still, you know, still following that exact same line?
That's a fantastic question.
Thank you.
So originally I was helping out a different organization because I grew up, I was born and raised in Hamilton. The guys in the family hunted, girls weren't allowed. But I was always interested in the outdoors. Like I always camped, fished. I loved the outdoors. It wasn't until I got older and met Steve that him and his dad were like, yeah, you can come along hunting. Like, why not?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that there were so many of us out there who didn't have that support.
Mm-hmm.
And so, as I said, I'll get back to that. So when I was helping out this other organization, I felt at the time they were doing it for the right reasons, which was helping ladies gain experience, you know, gain knowledge. That way when they go out to do it on their own, they were prepared as best as possible.
Mm-hmm.
That focus shifted, and I didn't like that. It went from helping people for the right reasons to how can I line my pockets while I'm doing this? And I was not okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I left that organization, and I had a lot of support to start my own thing. So I did some research, and I started the Canadian Sportswoman Society. And I think it's always been about being that support system for people, not just ladies, but their families as well. Because there's lots of guys out there who don't have dads or grandpas or uncles who hunt and fish.
Absolutely.
And how are you supposed to gain experience or knowledge if you don't have someone that you can lean on? So that's why we've kind of always had the hands-on approach, because I myself am a hands-on learner, and I know lots of other people are too. And you can tell me a million things and I might remember some of them, but if you show me and then let me do it, I will always remember it.
Right.
So has the vision stayed the same, or has it evolved? It's definitely evolved, because I believed that building a good foundation and starting small was perfect. That way we can grow and learn as as the participants grow and learn as well. And that's been really helpful for us. The first couple of years, we kept numbers small. We did the infield waterfowl events. We've done the ice fishing. We've done the youth squirrel tournament, which has gotten really big now. So I'm looking forward to that coming up. This past year, we did the sausage making, your wild game sausage making course, which we kept that really small too, because COVID was just starting kind of. So we just wanted to see, guinea pigs, see how it went, and it went over really well. So that's something we're going to be doing in the future. but yeah, really, I wanted to be a support person. Like, CSS is a support system for other people, and the people we have on board, I have Steve, Regan, you guys have helped out with some of our events. Dave has helped out, Steve and Matt and Ketty from Gear Down, they've helped out on different events.
Yeah.
I've had so many people help out. Jamie Trudeau Lalonde is like my right hand woman, I call her.
Yeah.
I have Amy Lou Gibbons now as a stream staff because she's huge into fishing. I have Jamie Blanky. I have Becca Blanky on board now too. Tara Bailey just joined us as a stream staff.
The shit show.
So always a good time with Tara.
That's right.
But yeah, I have a lot of, and Louise Norris is also a field staff for us now.
Another amazing
absolutely.
woman. Yeah.
And that's the thing, like, we've wanted to bring people on board who still have a good head on their shoulders, who, legit want to help people for the sake of helping people, not what it could do for them to help the people.
I really got to commend you on the part about wanting to do it for the right reason, because I know it can be easy to get caught up in the popularity and sponsorship and wanting to make money. And listen, I'd be lying to you if I told you I didn't want to make money. Of course I want to make money.
Yeah.
But as you well know, it's not easy, right? And we know that it's not easy, but the money can't be your sole reason, because I think if it is, you're in for a very poor investment and some very sleepless nights, I think. So I really do have to commend you when it comes to wanting to keep doing it for the right reasons. And it sounds like, I always say it, and here it is, episode 10, and I'm going to say it again, is that you surround yourself with good people and good things will happen, right? And I think that's one of the biggest things that you need to do is listen. Okay, yeah, I get it that you're not a millionaire and you're not going to get on. Well, I digress. You know what I mean? But I love it. Sorry, Dave. No sound, buddy. You're on mute.
Keeps kicking me on mute for some reason. I just want to point out that, like, your infield events, and that I showed up to the first one that I went to 3 years ago, I think it was. Yeah. And I was like, oh man, what's this going to be about? Like, and when I showed up, I realized that it truly was just trying to help people out. And even though you're called Canadian Sportswoman Society, you were there for the kids, you were there for the men, you were there for the women, the teenagers, everyone was involved. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people learned from it. And I think that you've actually, a lot of growth in the women's hunting world has come from you. And could you expand on that a little bit about how it's grown from what your society's done?
Well,
yeah, so here's the time for you to pat yourself on the back, Lorianne.
I don't know how to do that. I think if ladies or the youth or some of the gentlemen who have come to some of our events and have left them with more knowledge in their toolboxes, and were able to apply it out in real hunting situations, then I did my job. And at the end of the day, that's what we're here for. We're here to help people. We're here to promote them. We're here to be that that helping hand. And if lots of ladies and families have gotten into it because of coming to our events and seeing how fun it can be to do it as a family, then there's no greater reward than that. I'm truly humbled, honestly. I love helping people. It's who I am. So to hear people acknowledge that, I guess, is more than enough thanks. Like, that's, my head won't be able to fit through the door.
So what's your favorite thing to teach people, and which one do you think is the best to teach people to bring them out to new, like waterfowl, turkey, what kind of hunting should these new people get into?
Like as an adult or in general?
Either,
like if you're okay.
in
Um,
general,
for,
any.
okay, so for family stuff, squirrel hunting. The kids don't have to be quiet. You know what I mean? Like they can be walking through the woods with you. I suggest putting them in hunter orange. You don't have to because it's not in the regs, but we encourage, at least an orange hat and vest on the kids. Getting the kids involved and normalizing hunting is probably the easiest and quickest way to get everybody involved. And when it comes to adults, what's my favorite hunt? I would say waterfowl. Waterfowl hunting. If you want to introduce people to bird hunting, you can still be sociable during that time. You know what I mean? Like it's a group effort. Everybody goes out, puts the decoys out. Everybody, dresses the blinds. Everybody helps unload everything. Calling is normally left to the much better callers, hopefully, so you don't sound like you're running around out there with a kazoo. But yeah, I would say waterfowl. And deer hunting probably for someone who enjoys like my thumbs down. I love deer hunting. It's the only quiet time I get by myself.
Yeah, that's the mother coming out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm like, okay, I'm just here by myself. Just leave me be.
Must have some mother in me too.
There's a whole lot of mother in you, buddy. There's a whole lot. Mister, hey, make sure you take some snacks with you when you go hunting. That's Merc. Yeah, like I know Dave has done your waterfowl event a couple times now, and he talks super highly of it. And I look around, and I've been to a few of your things, and plus we're connected, and we are actually friends. So just in case anybody, in real life, like we are actually friends, everybody.
Not just on Facebook.
Yeah, not just on Facebook. But you really do have like this huge bucket of people that you can reach out to, and there's always, like, regardless of what you do, you always have a ton of people that are there, with you, helping you, and they're just, and I think everybody does it for the right reason. It's just, hey, listen, let's have a laugh first and foremost.
Absolutely.
There's usually always a little bit of libation going on after the event. But
yes.
You know what I mean? Like, you seem to have like this, wherever you go in Ontario, you have a group of people that are always willing to help you, and that says a lot about what you've done and the girls that you have part of your team.
Well, thank you. Honestly, I couldn't do it by myself. The events wouldn't be what they were without having, the support of all the volunteers and the helpers, and guys like you and Steve and Dave and all the other outfitters and facilities who have donated their volunteers or their facilities to host us.
Yeah, absolutely. It just, it is good to see that we talk about this close-knit community that the hunting world is, but everybody talks about it, but we don't see it often. Do you know what I mean? Because it can be very cutthroat and very backstabby. But,
oh yeah.
But it do appear that when it comes to the grassroots, to the joy of introducing someone to a sport or watching them get their first duck,
yes.
Even though Mark and I took one of our really good friends, we took his son a couple years ago. It was Mark, Ryan, and myself. And I think we were more excited than what Liam was, Mark, because he doubled up on his first time shooting ducks. He shot 2, like bang, and then tracked and bang and dropped, and 2 beauties. Like, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it right here. But that it has to be something amazing for you, because it, I have my I may have somebody that's never hunted that'll come out with me, but that I don't get that very often. Your entire goal is to introduce people, and you must get that feeling all the time. Amazing.
It is. I've been, like I said, I've been really blessed and lucky that I get the opportunity to help as many people as we have. Dave's kids actually participated in the infield waterfowl event last summer, and they had a blast. Sometimes 12 and 20 gauge shotguns are a little much, especially for the smaller framed kids. So we also had a 410 there. They were all rocking, 20 gauges and 410s and 12s by the end of it. They're like, I got this. And I just love it. I love helping, build up their confidence to be like, yes, you can do anything as long as you're willing to put the work in and, follow through. And if it's something you're really interested in, you can do it. Anybody could do it.
So is there any plans for the fall for the Canadian Sportswoman? Am I on mute again, for Christ's sake?
No, you're good, buddy.
So September obviously is waterfowl season. I'm planning on going down to New Brunswick with Jamie is coming with me, and we're going to go hunt with the East Coast waterfowlers.
What?
Yeah, we're going to go down for a day hunt down there. We're going to spend some time down there. Then obviously goose season up here. We're going to try and fill the freezers again.
Absolutely.
October, we do the squirrel tournament. The youth squirrel tournament runs the whole month of October. Last year we had 23 teams. So I'm hoping to get at least 25 teams this year.
Wow.
What else is in October? We have, there's going to be a ladies waterfowl camp. Again, with COVID being what it is, we were trying to keep numbers small. That way everybody is protected and as safe as possible. So yeah, there's going to be a ladies waterfowl camp. I'm also doing a day hunt with Wing Feather Outfitters up here. I haven't
Nice.
officially announced it, but there it is. I'm going to take some ladies out, and Steve's going to cook for us all. So that's going to be a win-win for everyone.
Yeah.
And that's when you talk about filling the freezer, like you've got someone there that uses all that too. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'll never be thin. Let me just take you and tell you, COVID has not been kind, because it gives Steve more time to cook all his wonderful creations, and me and the kids are his guinea pigs. And
Well, I don't know. Me and Dave have talked about it, and I want to do a show. I got to figure out some way that we can have Steve on, chat, have a laugh, and have him cook a meal and give us step-by-step directions. And because for our listeners, if you don't know Steve and Lorianne Horst, you need to. Lorianne, I love you, but if you want to follow social media, follow Stephen Horst on social media and just watch some of the
Instagram
meals.
especially.
Yeah, some of the meals that he uses, and Dave, you're 100% right. I don't think there's any wild game that's wasted in that household whatsoever.
Like you guys fucking ate coyote.
It tastes like roast beef. Hells yeah.
Whatever. I take your word for it because I ain't trying it.
Mark, you ever eat coyote?
No.
No. Are you going to eat coyote?
No.
I don't know. Maybe you guys are going to have to check your wife's purses for your danglers.
Ooh.
Because
Whoa.
Gauntlet.
Hey, I will eat almost anything. I'm from Newfoundland. I've eaten almost anything. And I don't know. I just can't see myself doing it. And it's not that I'm not being judgy. It's just I can't see myself doing it.
Not being judgy, but I just can't do that.
Yeah. Not saying I'm uppity or anything, but
Yeah. Not saying I have an 18.5-foot boat or anything.
yeah, that is going to be the running joke now. That's how we're going to know if our guests listen to our show from now on.
Absolutely.
So here's the challenge to any future guests. Somehow you've got to figure out how to get an 18.5-foot boat into a conversation when you come on the show. Well done, Lori-Ann.
Yeah.
Phil
thanks.
sucks.
Yeah. Should be taking us on a ride along with him tonight.
Yeah.
He's on the bike tonight, isn't he? The pedal bike with those
Oh.
shorts.
We
Oh,
need a
please,
selfie.
oh, please tell me. I wish we would have been given permission
Yeah.
to do this, but you really should see. You should see him in his uniform when he's on the pedal bike.
When I saw that picture, I wasn't sure if he was actually a pedal bike officer or if he was going to go into being like a Chip and Dale or like trying out for the next Magic Mike. Like, they talk about firefighter calendars, and then you see Phil in that picture. You're like, oh, fuck, buddy. Right? Sorry, Phil. I love you, man.
And it's way more easier to make fun of him when he's not here, too, so which makes it even better, right?
And he lives a couple hours away, so he can't.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Lori-Ann, you know, you will see that. Well, I know you know because you watch the show, but we'll be a little bit all over the place, and I don't want to take anything away from what you're doing and stuff like that. So, you know, when it comes to, you know, you've already started your plan for the fall.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have, like, is there a space of time in the calendar year where you're not doing anything for CSS?
When I'm not doing anything for CSS, yeah, when we get to go to Ducks Unlimited dinners or Delta dinners or Wild for Hope dinners, that's about it.
CWTF, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you just returned from, and I've been looking at the bit from an epic trip up north, up northern Ontario, right? So that was a pretty, and you took quite the crew with you too. I might add.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, so was that just a girls' weekend just to get away, COVID, all the bullshit, just get away and just a bunch of girls just get out and have some fun, more or less let your hair down and relax and do what it is that you love?
Yeah, really, it was a group of badass women going up to Northern Ontario, showing the Northerners that us Southerners can rock it just as badass as they can.
That's awesome.
When we left last Tuesday afternoon, we drove straight through. So me and Jamie did most of the driving. Tara drove for a couple of hours, and that was enough for everybody.
Yeah.
And I got to the point, I just, with COVID canceling so many events, so many great events, you know, Ontario Federation of Anglers and Hunters always puts on a women's outdoor weekend up in Dryden and then in Minden in the fall. I was reached out to a couple of friends who live way up there, and they still wanted to organize something small that the numbers wouldn't affect anybody's safety. So we did it, and we were gone for the week, and it was awesome. We did four-wheeling, we did fishing. I caught, you know, personal best walleye, like 21 and a half or 21 and a quarter inches, you know what I mean? Like and it was like backcountry fishing. It was drive to a spot 45 minutes away, four-wheel half hour into the woods, and then you had to basically pack mule the gear onto your back and then traipse through the woods down to the water.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really fun.
So you can't get an 18.5-foot boat back there, could you?
Impossible.
There's such thing as too fucking big.
Yeah, Phil.
You would have to have it helicoptered in. I think that's how the boats used.
That'd be a Chinook too, right? Like a regular helicopter couldn't handle that.
Yeah, it'd be a real helicopter.
No. Yeah, it had to be like a twin props. Yeah.
You'd have to, I guess, enlist the help of the OPP or the RCMP up there to help lift something like 18.5-foot boat up into the water up there.
No, I think you have to call in the military.
Yeah, the military is the only one with the capability of handling something, a monstrosity like that.
someone with more capability than the Oshawa Police Force, anyway.
Like, has the intro to the union? You know that intro that like we're showing everybody, and you look at Phil. That's Phil in his 18.5-foot boat at Long Point last year, right? And
you're gonna make me bring that up.
Yeah, and you gotta watch it, and you really need to pay attention to the look on his face, because he is the shit on Lake Erie that day. That is how he's driving his boat. He's got that fucking shit-eating grin on his face, and he's like, "Yep, this boat is 18.5 feet, and we're going to go shoot some birds." Like, I'm telling you, you got to look, pay attention to the intro, and just watch the look that's on his face. He's got that fucking little sneer that he's got, and it's awesome. It's awesome. Lorianne, so I wanted to touch on, because you really are, I'll say, CSS, Canadian Sportswoman, but you are an ambassador. You're more than just CSS, right? Like, you are an ambassador for women hunters and girls, and breaking down a bunch of barriers, and not, always about, it's a refreshing thing to see when you see the social media and all this stuff. But you're also like, and to give some credit to the people that don't know you and don't follow you, but you are a pro staff for Bass Pro as well, right?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
So, like, you're not just a pretty face. Like, you go down to the Bass Pro in Niagara. Yeah, in Niagara, and then you'll go down and you'll do events and shit, right? Like,
absolutely.
Like, you're a big deal. Like,
no, I'm not.
Yeah, that's the look on him. He's just like, look at me. I'm driving an 18.5-foot boat.
Yeah, honestly, I was approached by Bass Pro a couple years ago to come out and, talk about ladies in the outdoors and hunting. So I was honored. Of course, I'm going to go, because it's
absolutely.
It's a smaller platform to help spread the message that, yes, we can do anything anyone else can do. And after, it kept evolving, and they approached me to be pro staff, and I was like, are you sure? Because I don't look like any of the other ladies I see in your catalog, so I don't know. But yeah, they're like, that's refreshing. That's exactly what we need to show people and young girls, that it doesn't matter what you look like or what your background is. You got to break that cycle, and you got to, if we all focus more on teaching our daughters to worry less about glass slippers and about breaking glass ceilings, the world would come a lot farther.
100%. And what is like, this is a slippery slope to be walking, right? And this, I'm really, but this whole, like, and I know you, so I know, but there's this fear, I guess, from so for Punisher. So let's say Punisher Waterfowl.
Yes. I
would be very nervous to host a co-ed hunt camp. Mm-hmm. Because I have a bunch of friends that are idiots. And then I have a bunch of girlfriends that are also idiots.
Yeah.
And I don't know who all is going to mix together. Do you know what I mean? So,
yes.
Like, it has to be a stereotype that you must be, or I shouldn't say you must be, but are you conscious of that whole, of all the women that I've ever been around hunting, they make me blush.
Yeah, no, we're filthy. No.
But they can hold their own with any guy that I know.
Yeah, I would say it's a fine line, because you have gentlemen who are you know, they don't put up with no nonsense. And then you also have the ladies who don't put up with no nonsense either. So sometimes it's really hard, especially when you are doing a co-ed event, you're always going to have people who mesh and people who don't.
Mm-hmm.
So it's that's why most of our co-ed events have been day events.
Yeah, absolutely. Makes sense.
Yeah. Sometimes, you know, I would love to do a co-ed waterfowl weekend, but the logistics, I think, because unfortunately, you know, there's still some people who, like you said, are idiots on both sides. And can you trust adults to be, you know, act responsibly? And sometimes, you know, the spouses or significant others get a little, you know, hymie or upset that, oh, I've seen you with the pictures and you were standing near a girl, or, you know, sometimes the husbands are like, who were those guys in the picture with you? And as much as I would love to think that you're a hunter is a hunter, it doesn't matter your gender. When we're out in the field, we're all the same. Some people don't see that and don't feel that, and so it makes it really hard to be able to plan overnight or like weekend long, you know, hunt camps when it comes to that.
Yeah, and you know, you bring up a good point, and you know, this whole, you use the statement, I hope people could be adults, and that and it seems like such a simple concept, doesn't it?
On paper,
yeah, but that's a sign of the times where we are. At a girl, that's not that neutral stuff, is it?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. I would really be disappointed in you if it was.
I mean,
so I got an idea to pitch.
Okay, let's do it.
All this conversation that was just had. So Damien or Lorianne, whoever wants to run with it.
This should be good.
Yeah, we could take a round of the dance floor.
Wait, I need a drink first.
So what you got to do is someone has to pitch the idea, and you got to include it in your invitations that you're going to have a singles hunt camp, or soon to be single. Yeah.
That'd be pretty good too.
That'd be dangerous. There'd be no hunting after the first day.
Yeah.
Do you ever find that, like you talk about how the spouse thing happens, do you ever find that with your co-ed events, there's guys that don't want to participate, or there's guys that say, like, I don't want to be in a group with a woman because women shouldn't be hunting, or whatever they say? Like, I don't believe that. I've hunted with a lot of you, like you in particular, right? And you can hunt with a lot of people a lot better than I can hunt, right? So, but do you find that is still occurring to this day, right?
Absolutely. And sometimes it's so mind-boggling, because, and it shouldn't be to me, because I grew up in that mind frame, because I'm like, oh, okay, I'm a girl, I guess I don't get to do that stuff. But now that I do it, and I'm like, fuck yeah, anybody can do it. Like, you're gonna tell me that I can't go out and hunt? I will out hunt you. Don't make fun of my pink camo shotgun, because this pink camo shotgun is gonna outshoot you. Actually, so I think you were there during the one infield waterfowl event. We had some gentlemen from Toronto come up, and at first, when they first were registering, they're like, can we talk to, you know, the boss? And I'm like, yep, you're speaking with her. No, the real boss. What man is in charge?
No.
I was like, good sir, I am the man in charge. So if you want to participate in this event, you will listen to women, you will be instructed by women, and if you can't handle that, be on your merry way.
Are you serious? Like, like to your face like that? Yeah,
over the phone.
Okay.
But they ended up coming back they came back the next year because they had so much fun. So I was glad I was able to break down that barrier for them in particular.
I think I'm really naive, because I think that stuff is, for the most part, gone the way of the dodo. But then I talk to people and I'm like, Wow, it's still happening. Like it blows my mind.
Oh yeah.
I really think that first one, because I was there for both of them.
Yes, you were.
I remember you at the start of the first one. I'm going, oh shit, this isn't going to be good. And then I'm pretty sure something happened in that year between the two, because even when he came to the station that I was teaching at, and he asked some pretty off the wall questions, the second year he came back, he was very humble, and I think that the actual hunting experience humbled him. And knowing
Absolutely.
and seeing pictures of Lorianne with a turkey and him just not having one after some of the questions he had asked. So,
Yeah. So
Nice.
actually, Dave, that's funny that you bring that up, because what happened at my station, I was doing the shooting portion of how to how to get up from an A-frame blind to shoot. And he brought his big expensive gun, and he's like, am I going to shoot against you? Sure, buddy, you want to shoot against me? He's like, yeah, okay, let's see how good you shoot. I'm like, oh, okay. So normally I cave under pressure because I get in my own head and then I mess myself up. But I was like, you know what, you little shit. Mama came to play, and so Mama's got to put you in the corner because this has got to happen. So I'm like, what gun do you want me to use? And he's like, what? I'm like, no fair advantage. I'm like, you pick the gun I use, and that's the one I'll use. So he picked I forget which one he picked. I think one of the ones from Canuck, actually. So he picked the gun. I loaded it up. I'm like, you get to shoot first. He's like, okay. So he shot at it, missed. I shot at it, crushed the clay. I'm like, do I get to shoot first this time? He's like, yeah, it's okay.
like, I'm not bringing this up because to make fun of the people that were there. Like, it's great that they're all learning. But I wanted to point out that these waterfowl events, turkey events, they're breaking down barriers.
Yeah.
And so I guess my follow-up question would be, what do we need to do going forward to break down even more? Or what can anybody do to help, or anything? Like, what do you think about that?
I think we just have to make it normal. Like, I wish, honestly, I wish that hunter wasn't, there's no gender in hunting. It's just a hunter. You're a hunter. It doesn't matter how you pee out in the woods. All that matters is that you showed up, you're putting the work in, you're getting your hands dirty, you're, presenting yourself properly, you're respecting your harvest. If there was a way that we could normalize hunting equality without being too preachy,
Mm-hmm.
I think until that happens, it'll always be a stigma of some sort. And honestly, I hope in my time that a hunter is just a hunter. It doesn't matter what flavor of person you are. But I don't know if that'll ever happen. Truly, like, I don't think it'll ever happen fully. All I can do is make it more normal or normalize it as much as I can going forward.
So, in kind of keeping what you're saying there, in my personal experience, I respect someone who hunts for the experience and to share it with others. If you're out to hunt for the thrill to hunt and you want to share that with people, that's great. And I don't know if I'm going to open up a little bit of a box here, but
I certainly hope so.
Yeah, it's coming.
No, I mean, seriously though, like you get the people that are hunting so they can be models in the hunting world.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Whereas I don't think that's a positive thing all the time. I prefer to see the experience. You know what I mean? And people experiencing things, and sharing the experience, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know? So that's just the way I view it. I'm not looking at, like, yeah, there's tons of people on Instagram and whatnot that are just taking those glory shots so they can show off their kill, we'll say. And but then there's other people who are genuinely doing it to share their hunting experience, is what it is.
Yeah.
So so I have a lot more respect for people who are, like yourself, Lorianne.
Oh, thank you.
There's a TV show based on that. I don't know if... Sorry.
Say that again. Sorry.
There's a TV show based on that, eh? It's called For Like or Love, something like that. And it's called For Likes or Love or something like that. and they actually take people with high Instagram counts that appear to be hunters, and they actually put them out there, and like they
Are you
hunt these great.
serious?
Oh yeah, it's a kind of cool show, and the girls can hunt, man. It was.
I'm sure they can.
Oh God, they were good. Like
Yeah,
the one,
I'm sure.
the one
Sorry.
chick was one of those backcountry hunter, like go into the woods type people, like camp out on your own. I'm like, wow, I don't know a lot of guys that would do that. Good for.
Is that Candace from Campbell River?
I can't remember who it was. I just remember seeing it going, that's
Okay.
pretty amazing.
Because I know there's a girl, Candace, she lives out in Campbell River in BC, and if I could aspire to be someone who wasn't Eva Shockey, it would be her, because she's like, if you took Eva Shockey and mixed it with Grizzly Adams and Paul Bunyan, like she does it all, and she's a badass.
That's you know what? That's pretty. That's a pretty good topic. That there don't. Everybody knows Eva Shockey, right? And Eva's amazing, and she's amazing.
Yes.
But there aren't a whole ton of female role models out there for female hunters. And you know what, Lorianne, I do, and listen, and you'll laugh and you'll whatever, but you are becoming one of those, and you are like right now you're doing it for. Right now it's a bunch of ladies that are all, you know, in their 20s and in their 30s that are, you know, they're married and their boyfriends are hunters, and they fell in love with it and they want to get out with their spouses, and then you have the girls that they just fucking love to hunt and they just want to go out. They don't need a man with them to go fucking
They don't need
hunt.
a man.
They don't need no man. But you know what? Those events like that Dave has been at, where you have the families, and when Dave has said you brought the families in, like that's young girls, and like your own daughter, like
Yes.
you tell me she's not going to be a force to be reckoned with when she's a teenager, because I know her and I love her. And she is like, and that you can look at it at your own daughter, like you are being such a strong role model for ladies that I don't know if you really appreciate just how important what you're doing is to all these lady hunters that are out there.
I mean, I think I certainly appreciate it. I don't know, like I don't view myself as, like, I hope I'm a positive role model, but I guess I don't view myself as like
No,
an
you're humble.
aspiring. Yeah, like I have a hard time seeing myself as being an inspiration, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I mean, it's fantastic if I am, because I hope, you know, the end goal of CSS is to help as many people as possible. I don't know, I just never viewed myself as being anything other than that helping hand. I don't know, it's so weird. Like I don't do it for the likes.
No,
you know what I mean? Like
absolutely.
So I don't know. I guess it's very humbling for me when people bring up, they're like, "Oh, you do so much," and I'm like, "Oh, I guess I don't know." It's very humbling.
No, and yeah, sorry, Dave, go, buddy.
And speaking of the youth side of it, one of the things that I've seen, like we're in a big decline with the amount of hunters out there, and we need to get more people into it. One thing I see with the youth hunting is you get a youth involved, and the parents kind of got to get involved, and then they go out and get their like I got a lot of people right now, hey, how do I get my license? Well, right now, because of this COVID bullshit, you can't, and there's no courses, but there's more and more parents starting to get into it because their kids are getting into it, and it's kind of the reverse from when most people grew up, right? Like my parents weren't hunters. My son started hunting, and my dad's like, I want to do something with my grandson, so he started. And I see that with people from your courses too. Like, yeah, it's pretty awesome. That's a good hunter recruitment method that I found.
Absolutely. If the kids are, you know, I think what were those? The Hunger Game movies. Mm-hmm. You know, I think had a huge impact on not only getting, you know, boosting girls getting into hunting, but also kids and moms and even dads like getting into archery. Like the archery world got flooded
Yeah.
with people picking up the sport after that movie franchise come out, and that's perfect. Like that's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's something about being as self-sufficient as possible is really empowering. So
That's I've never ever really thought about that. We always poke fun about the Duck Dynasty crew,
oh yeah,
right? We always,
yeah,
and you know what? We poke fun of it, but it isn't 100% negative. It's got more hunters out, and there have been some people that have, really taken on to the sport and has done it great. But when, like what Dave was saying there with, the parents taking it on, and I'm sure you've experienced Carolyn and Ian when they were on with the Real Outdoor Experience, they had brought up the fact about single moms, and they have, Dave's gone. His dog just fucked off to the neighbor's place. The last time I think he got a chicken. Yeah. But either way, like Ian and Carolyn had said, like there's single moms and their sons and their daughters want to get into hunting, and the moms, they don't know the first thing. So when you look at CSS and then the Real Outdoor Experience, like both of you guys are doing something that, that single mom that has no idea how to get their child involved in the hunting, you're providing that service. That's amazing. That gotta make you feel good.
Oh, absolutely it does. Absolutely. Like I said, it's so humbling, because I guess I took it for granted that Steve and his family were so supportive when it came to, hunting, and come along, of course you can. I'm like, oh, okay, great. So now that I've been doing it for a while, and I started CSS, and we're helping as many people as we can, I guess sometimes you forget like how much what we're doing, what the Real Outdoor Experience, like when they do their youth outdoor days, like where was that when I was growing up?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what they're doing is so important. And it just helps stem, the kids wanting to get further into the outdoors. And then, it helps the parents or the moms or the dads get into it. And then they look into events for them, and what can I learn from this, and how can I apply it? How can I, get my kids? Can I bring my kids to this event? We've had the last couple of turkey events, we've had people bring their kids just to sit in, because their kids are kind of interested.
Right.
But the parent is a little bit more right now, because same thing, they're still learning, so they want to involve their kids, and they're like, can we bring our kids? I'm like, of course you can. Just let me know how many you're going to bring, so I can make sure I have enough Timbits or, food for them when they come.
You need to set up like some GoPro cameras down around Louise Norris's house and stuff, just to show her when it's in the fall of the year, when it's deer season, and she leaves her husband at home and he's in bed, and she gets up and hops on the quad and goes out to the deer stand by herself, and he wakes up and he's like, where's my wife? And she's already texting him and was like, where are you? How come you're not out hunting yet? And you know what I mean? Like, Lorianne, we could do this for hours and hours and hours and talk about this. I cannot, as a dad of a young girl, I don't think I've ever understood the amount of pressures that are on a girl, and a teenage girl at that. And although it's amazing what you do. I think you are an ambassador. I think you are the right person that is out there, and you're doing everything for the right reason. And that is what I truly love about you. You're doing it for the right reason. You honestly do want to help people, and that is so refreshing to see. And I know Dave absolutely loves your waterfowl event. He speaks highly of it. Mark, Ryan, Phil, everybody talks so highly of you and Steve. You are good.
I appreciate that.
You are good people. We are friends. We have hunted together. We've partied together. We've done it all.
Yeah.
You know, you are an ambassador, and I know you're not comfortable, and you're not giving yourself the pats on the back, but from me, you really, really are, and I cannot thank you enough. And I'll speak on behalf of the female hunting population out there, is that we ladies are very appreciative of what you've done. And you know, I cannot thank you enough for agreeing to come on the show, and we love you. Dave?
Lorianne, how can people get a hold of you if they want to participate in these events after this COVID shit's done?
So you can check out our Facebook page. It's Canadian Sportswoman Society. Also on Instagram. Our website is being revamped right now. Thankfully, I have Jamie, who is very tech savvy, so she's helping update that. And we will have all the events listed on there soon, probably in the next couple of weeks, once we figure out what's going on in Grey and Bruce counties, because as you know, we've had some influx of the COVID disease. Yeah.
Every region's going to start building fences.
Fucking cottagers. Sorry, we love you. Keep bringing your business to our area, but
yeah. Keep buying $20 armfuls of firewood.
Oh, right.
at the gas station. Yeah.
At the gas station.
Yeah. Mark, you got anything, buddy?
Yeah, no, Lorianne, like, we've been doing the youth hunt up here for a while, since I've been living here every year. Now this fall coming, it won't be happening because of the obvious reasons. But I gotta say, like, probably one of my best favorite experiences with doing youth mentorship programs is when you have someone who's never experienced the day of hunting. And you take someone out, and regardless of the result, there's a lot going on. It's overload for some of these young people to see, and just to see to have any sort of a successful day whatsoever, and to bring them back, and then to put them back with all their peers again, and just to watch them all tell their stories and all that kind of stuff. Like it's an amazing experience, and I understand why you do what you do, because I felt that every year now, at least during that, plus all the other times I've been out with people for their first hunts and whatnot. And so I understand 100% why you do what you do, and it's very commendable that you do that. So
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So anyway, it was great having you on. Great conversation.
Yeah, thank you.
Again, Lorianne, love having you on. You know I love you. Love Steve. Love the kids, and can't wait. And hopefully I'll get to see you guys sooner rather than later. But again, thank you. And you know what? We should really plan for another episode that you come on, probably around after your waterfowl event, just so I can hear about the experience, and we can talk about the experience, and hopefully you'll have some ladies on that get their first bird and stuff, because I would really love to hear about that experience. And you never know, maybe I might be around, and I might drop in for a visit or something like that.
Hey, so, our house is always open. You know that.
I know. I know it. Lorianne, thank you so much for doing this. I know you're busy, and you're a mom, and you got 2 kids, and God knows you got to look after Steve. So thanks so much for doing this. Everybody, Please check out the Canadian Sportsman Society. Send some love over to them. We will tag you, Lorianne will tag CSS in our social media, just so any ladies and that they want to check out, they can just check on the link and it'll bring you right over to them. Everybody, thank you so much. Episode 10, could you believe it? We've actually committed and we've done 10 episodes of the show. It seems to be popular. Well, popular in my view anyways. It seems to be, people are watching it, people are giving comments, and the criticism is always constructive, and I love it. And please keep sending it. Dave.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can find us on YouTube, iTunes, and Spotify.
And Spotify. Dave figured that out.
Time.
Yeah. Dave is he figured that out.
I'm not wearing them, fucker. I knew you'd fucking say something if you did.
Lorianne, this was an awesome episode, and I think if there wasn't a group of girls that were wondering or really excited about the upcoming season. And listen, let's not forget, we talk about hunting, but your fishing, your game processing, you're in preparation, field to plate. You are
Absolutely.
the entire gamut of everything. You are it, and I think it's amazing. I think we need to do another show later on in the fall, if you will have us. And yeah, awesome. Thank you so much. Dave, Mark, anything before we
thank you,
everybody.
Thanks.
This was episode 10.
Thank you.
This was episode 10 of the Union. You know what we're all about. Keep liking, keep subscribing, keep downloading those podcasts, keep watching us on YouTube, keep following us on social media. And there is going to be a very special contest coming up here real soon with Purina Canada, and they've stepped up to the plate, and they want to draw some more views to our YouTube channel. So watch out for what's going to be coming down the pipe on that real soon. Big love, everybody. Can't wait to see you all and chat next week.